8. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Lavore Terrell Menifee. Mr. Menifee, how are you doing? Mr. Menifee, your case is near the bottom of the docket. We have some cases set for trial above yours. So I just told your attorney, who is on Zoom, that we're gonna just have you on standby. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. If your case, if we get to your case, we'll be picking a jury tomorrow at 1:30. If we don't get to your case, then your case will be reset. But stay in contact with your attorney because he will have the information. Okay, so you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. All right. Stephanie Jolene Wadley. This is cause number 331-794. Now, Ms. Wadley, you are also represented by attorney James Padgett, who is appearing via Zoom. Your case actually is the last case on the court's docket. And if we get to your case, then we'll call your attorney, and your attorney will give you a call to let you know that y'all need to be here for 1:30. So right now you'll be on standby, so you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Padgett, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
All right, thank you. It's in reference to.
I'm just reporting.
Okay.
I ran into Dustin down the hallway. He says he's ready, so,
Okay. Well, okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
but I'll be available.
Okay. Court is in session and calls numbers 331-290 and calls number 327-525. Case is styled stated. Oh, let's see. Let me repeat that. Court is in session and calls numbers 327-525 and calls number 327-527. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Joseph McKinley Scott. Mr. Scott, you may come forward with your attorney. Mr. Scott, your full name is Joseph McKinley Scott. You can stand on the X. Your full name is Joseph McKinley Scott. How are you doing, Mr. Scott?
Blessed, I'm alive.
That's good. Now, Mr. Scott, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney William Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm well, Judge. Thank you.
And the state is represented by Attorney Colby Hallpire. Again, Attorney Hallpire, how are you doing?
Good, Judge, thank you.
And Mr. Hallpire, what is the announcement in this case?
Judge.
Cases?
Due to the unable to locate, we have insufficient evidence to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt in each case. Due to the inability to locate the complaining witness, who was a former BPD officer, who no longer lives in the state.
And,
Therefore, we're dismissing both charges, Your Honor.
okay, so,
Insufficient evidence.
okay, this is the 27th. Mr. Scott, the state has filed a motion to dismiss the charges against you in these cases. And I'm signing the dismissals right now. These dismissals are going to print off on our printer. And your attorney will be given a copy of the dismissals. Okay? It should take a few minutes to do that. Just have a seat in the courtroom so that you can get a copy of your dismissals. Okay? You can talk to your attorney. Okay, yeah, I mean, at this point, you can talk to your attorney to see what, you know, he can give you advice on that.
Yeah, he gave me advice, but I would like to speak out if I can. If I can get
Well,
20 seconds, at least.
well, I don't know if I'll be able to do that without, you know, your attorney. I mean, if you,
Your Honor, my client so chooses, I have no objection, and two, is the court will wants to entertain a statement.
well, just hold on a minute. Let me, try to get these dismissals signed. Have you talked to your attorney about what you want to say?
No, I haven't talked to him yet.
Okay. Well, I'll give y'all an opportunity to confer.
You know,
Okay, you can confer with your counsel first.
this is the big effect on that. So we're going to use 20 seconds. I'm giving off 24, just let me go down to the court. So this-
Okay, that's the first dismissal that's printing out.
Well, so.
Mr. Scott has explained to me what he would like to say, and I have no objections should the court entertain a statement.
No, just hold on a minute. Is it printing out now? Now, Mr. Joseph, oh, here we go. If you are, now, what is your statement regarding?
Me being beat twice.
Okay, now, I mean, if you have any complaints, this is not the, there are avenues that you can pursue. This is not one of, we're criminal court dealing with misdemeanor cases. You can talk to your attorney could direct you into the right direction to pursue any avenues that you would like to pursue in regards to that. Okay?
Yes, and I've been trying to do that, but they've been, how you want to say, rescheduling my court date. I don't know if they was trying to get to the statute law of limitation or what, but.
Well, I don't know about all of that. But
it hurts me because I got epilepsy. I had a condition where I actually had a seizure. They took it upon their own hands when I went into a seizure and tried to put public intoxication and possibly PCP.
okay,
And having epilepsy for 10 years.
okay,
This has changed my whole life to have 4 or 5 cops hold me down and they repetitively pound me, which made my epilepsy come a little bit more. I've even after the situation tried to get back to work. When
Okay.
I tried to work, it caused me to have a seizure again.
okay,
Maybe about 30, 60 days later, they beat me again. And this has made a big impact on my
Your Honor,
life.
I'm not to object, we're going into this is a civil, there's civil courts or avenues.
Right.
The
So that's why I say you can talk to your attorney. He could direct you in the right avenues, or he could direct you to whoever you need to talk to, like refer you to whoever you need to talk to address that particular issue. Obviously, we're a criminal court.
I will note on Mr. Scott's behalf that his civil remedies, his time to pursue that has passed because of how many.
I'm gonna object it.
Now, okay.
Part of that.
You know as well as I do that this is civil cases and criminal cases are apples and oranges.
Yeah, sure.
One does not have no effect on the other. And so if a person wants to pursue a civil case, the criminal case has nothing to do with that. And so at this time, he can pursue whatever avenues he needs to pursue. You as his attorney, you could have advised him of that. I don't know if he talked to another attorney, they could have advised him of that as well. So at this time, this hearing, we have the dismissals ready. You can get a copy of your dismissals. Once you get your dismissals, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you. They were gonna go, but then Judge West canceled jury, and so we didn't have any jurors to borrow.
Judge West, you mean Judge Woods?
No, sir. I mean, Judge Wood's court was borrowing jurors from
Oh,
Judge
okay.
West's leftovers. And so one week she canceled a jury, which was the week we were scheduled, one of the weeks we were scheduled to go there. So we didn't have a jury, and so it had to be.
So just for the record, this case was transferred to County Court at Law Number 2 from County Court at Law Number 3, which was the initial court that the case was filed in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you asked what number one setting, the court gave you a number one setting. Is that correct? In this court?
That's correct.
Okay. And it was set for today? Okay. All right.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Sir, what's your name?
Cedric Gordon.
Mr. Gordon, your case was dismissed. Your attorney was here. You can contact your attorney. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. This is, Jones.
I think it's downstairs. Sure.
Jefferson County Court, Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number 327799. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Jacoby Cordez Jones. Mr. Jones, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Jones? That's good. Mr. Jones, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Jones, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. Mr. Jones, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Langston Adams, and Attorney Adams. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in Mr. Jones' case?
Yes, sir.
And a state is represented in this case by Attorney Lamar Johnson. Attorney Johnson, how are you doing?
I'm well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Jones, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about September 12th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Jones, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Jones, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Now, Mr. Jones, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, JJ, on the line next to a box that's checked nolo contingere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? And Mr. Jones, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Adams, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State. Well, Mr. Jones, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer State 1 and State 2.
Any objections, Mr. Adams?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. The court will take judicial notice of State's Exhibit 2 that is in the court's file. Mr. Adams, you've advised and counseled Mr. Jones. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No evidence.
Mr. Jones, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Jones, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given, and I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest in this case, we have come to an agreement for the defendant to pay $1,000 fine plus court cost to be paid on or before March 17th, 2023.
Okay, Mr. Jones, the state is offering that you pay a fine of $1,000 plus the court costs of $367, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,367. Now, Mr. Jones, will you be able to pay the $1,367 by March 17th of 2023 at or before 5 p.m.? You will? Okay. Now, Mr. Jones, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Jones, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Jones, you're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you're finished following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Adams, you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ali Young Fields.
This is your copy. So when you go to pay it, whenever you go to pay it, that's okay.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session with our next two cases. The next two cases are cause numbers 326-046 and cause number 328-408. Both cases are styled of State of Texas versus Ali Young Fields. Mr. Fields, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Fields, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Fields, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Fields, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Fields? You doing all right? That's good. Now, Mr. Fields, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
And Attorney Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Fields' cases?
We do, Your Honor.
The state is represented in this case by Attorney Kobe Hallpower. Attorney Hallpower, how are you doing?
Good, Judge.
Mr. Fields, I have before me a document that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about February 1st of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Fields, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Fields, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Fields, I also have before me a document on this tablet that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Fields, do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there is a set of initials OF on the line next to the box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Mr. Fields, did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Mr. Fields, is this your signature? And on the next document, Mr. Fields, this document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The next line states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Now, Mr. Fields, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Fields, before you signed and initialed all of these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Fields, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Rojas?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Rojas, you have advised and counseled Mr. Fields. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Fields, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Fields, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of no contest, the state has agreed to recommend 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail, Your Honor, with credit for 5 days and court costs, but we'd ask to tax or retire those court costs in this case.
Mr. Fields, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. You would not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you have already served 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court cost in this case, Mr. Fields, is $337, but you will not have to pay the court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Fields, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Fields, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Fields, we will proceed with your next case, and your next case is cause numbers 328408. And then in this case, Mr. Fields, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about October 19th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Fields, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to discharge, Mr. Fields, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest. Now you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily. And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Fields, I also have before me a document on this tablet that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Fields, do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials, OF, on a line next to a box that's take no contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? And on the 3rd page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature above the line that is titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? I also have another document. This document is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant? Now, Mr. Fields, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And state, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit, which is in the court's file. State, you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. And Mr. Rojas, again, you advising counsel, Mr. Fields, in this case, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent? Stand trial.
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Fields, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised you and counseled you in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation in this case? Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Mr. Fields, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I'll also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
State does, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of no contest, state's agreed to recommend 6 days in the Jefferson County Jail with credit for 6 days, Your Honor, and we'd like to tack the retire the court costs in this case as well.
Okay, Mr. Fields, the state is offering, in this case, that you serve 6 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 6 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court cost in this case, Mr. Fields, is $337, but you will not be required to pay the $337 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Fields, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in this case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Fields, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Fields, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand on the X next to your attorney. You're going to follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Thank you. And Mr. Rojas, these are your only 2 cases, so you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, and you, excuse.
Thank you.
Swear.
Good.
Next two cases are cause numbers 321-225 and cause number 327-795. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Russell Bean or Russell Thomas Bean. Mr. Bean, would you please come forward? Good morning. Mr. Bean, your full name is, well, your name is Russell Bean or Russell Thomas Bean?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Bean?
All right.
That's good, Mr. Bean. You're here represented by your attorney Dustin Galmore. Mr. Galmore, how are you doing?
Good, Judge. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Galmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Bean's cases?
Well, Judge, these cases have been reset for quite a while because there was a pending felony. That's not showing up on the docket because the felony was resolved within, I think since the last time we were here.
Okay,
It was resolved by the way of a trial.
okay,
And so our intention was to possibly to run these cases CC
okay,
with the felony. However, the felony now is on appeal and the sentence has been abated. Probation is abated during the pendency of the
Right.
appeal, so he hasn't started the probation yet. So from our perspective, what we're asking the court is we would like to continue running this with the felony because our intention is to run them CC possibly at a later date.
only problem is, I mean, this is 2018, one is, and the other one is 2020, or
Right.
2020 case. We don't know how long an appeal gonna be out there. I mean, appeal could be out there a year, 2 years. I mean,
A year, I mean, that's.
yeah, but I mean,
pretty
that's, yeah, I mean, we can't hold up the court's docket like that. Now, I do note that these cases were transferred from county court at law number 3. They were on their docket for, I guess, some time.
common.
And then it was transferred over here. So,
Obviously, another concern, at least from the purely legal perspective, is that if he was convicted of one or both these cases, and then the felony is overturned and he were to have a trial again, then the sentencing changes in that aspect because you'll have new convictions. So those are just the legal concerns, which is one of the reasons why we've always postponed this case.
Yeah.
With the felony.
yeah,
But like the court stated, I mean, we don't know how long the appeal will take and
yeah,
and what the outcome will be.
I mean, it's just, I guess it was just the state's position to carry it in the past with to carry these cases with the felony.
Mhm.
But we have
If you don't mind, Judge, the state's usual position would be to that, but only to the point of trial, not to appeal.
Right.
So once that trial's done, his appeal, that's fine, but now it's no longer holding us back from that.
right,
So that's normal practice for us to the trial and not to the appeal.
right,
So
right. So, I mean, we can't grant you, we're not gonna continue it on that. So, what's your announcement?
Well, Judge, if we could hold.
Okay, I'll hold.
See what we can do.
Okay.
See if we can't do something.
Okay, we'll hold. Just have a seat, Mr. Bean. Now, your next, okay, your next two cases, your client is on Zoom, Mr. Robert Adam Goff.
We're working on that too, Judge, if you wanted to hold just another minute.
A hold,
See if we
okay,
can
a hold on that one too,
do
okay,
something on that.
okay, and hold on a minute. You have another person on the trial docket. He's on Zoom too. You have Christopher Joel Gonzalez.
Yeah, same announcement, Judge.
You gonna hold?
I don't want to announce just yet until we know for sure.
Okay,
And then there's one more person on the docket. He's present.
right,
That's a hearing
right,
whenever the court's ready on that.
okay. Now, let me finish the trial docket.
Sure.
Okay. Where's, we need to get Mr. Kevin J. Lumback. Mr. Lumback, would you please come forward? This is cause number 329-214, case of style of state of Texas versus Kevin J. Lumback or Kevin Jermaine Lumback. Mr. Lumback, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Lumback. You're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Marvel Provo, and Attorney Provo, how are you doing?
I'm doing.
Now, Ms. Provo, what is your announcement in Mr. Lumback's case?
No, I'm still talking to the prosecutor.
Oh, you still talking?
I'm trying to answer if you can get some change on this case at this time.
Yeah. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
State.
I believe we have a tentative agreement worked out, Your Honor. We just need to one setting, I think one continuance, counsel said that she was going to move for the continuance. I told her we were unopposed to it. And we do believe that by the time this comes back around, we'll it's probably worked out. Or will be worked out.
Okay, give us a reset date. Yeah, we gotta keep it on the trial docket.
May 22nd.
May 22nd. Okay, Mr. Lumback, this case will be reset to May 22nd of 2022, excuse me, 2023. Once your case is reset, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Please stand on the 4X in front of our coordinator. Your attorney is going to sign for your reset, and Ms. Provo, once you sign for the reset, you'll be free to go as well. Okay, you have a blessed day. Thank you. Okay, so we just have, yeah, more cases. Okay,
And I'm submitting this Mr. Paper on Christopher Joel Gonzalez.
okay, Gonzalez has been dismissed. Okay.